Jungle, birdars. Look at that.
I got chocolate here again. I have to probably cut them and put them in the refrigerator.
What's that, your broccoli?
Yeah. And I have celery on there. Cabbage. These are the ones that are real thick. Did you have some of those?
What's that?
Those cucumbers that come in little.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, don't there. Now you see, that's my strawberry patch. Can you see that?
Yeah, what happened here?
Huh?
What happened here? I thought you had more strawberries than that.
Well, there was quite a few rows, and then I had some over on the other one. But see, when I was on gardening, I just couldn't fool around with that. So then, when I got this much, I just think it was. So anyway, I'm waiting for a good rain, and then I'll pull up there. That turns up real easy.
Mm-hmm.
But now they got my garden down here. Straw for using it for deer. There, so he says I can't use it anymore. So
He's going to use it for what?
Hmm?
What's he going to use the straw for?
He uses it for target for.
Oh, for
yeah,
his
and
bow and
he
arrow?
had it for 2 years, and they don't.
Well, Grandma's got a real good garden going here. There's a lot to your grandma's place.
No. I started on this side because
Nice blue spruce pine tree there. How old is that tree there, Ma?
oh,
Isn't that a pretty tree?
I think it's 20 years. It's surprising how anything I got here when I think it back. You think, well, gee, 30, 40 years has gone by. What's been going and going?
Tom, I wouldn't tell Karen about the time you stayed at Grandma's house for one time and you snuck out in the middle of the night, pushed your car out of the back driveway here and snuck off. I wouldn't say that, would I?
Huh? No.
Told her a lot of things. What is that now again?
Huh?
What kind of nest is that?
Cedar waxwing.
We found that right here in your front yard in your pine tree, huh?
Yeah.
Can you tilt that? We'll show them how little the eggs are.
And you wonder how that bird, these little all dry pine trees, these little things. And that one night when it was a terrible storm, I was so scared. And the wind was blowing from the west, and it was dark, and the lightning and the water, rain was beating at the house. And I sat there alone, and I was just about ready to cry. I thought, well, I hope those birds, and they must have had 3 young, low, fat birds. And I thought, how could that those birds sit in that nest out there on the edge of the branch. And the next day I wouldn't even look. Finally, the second day I took up there, and there was three the fat little birdies there already having some feathers on. A couple more days they were gone. It's just,
Well, this is the front of Grandma's house. We've been out here talking about the cedar waxwing bird that Angie found in her tree one day, and she's over here for a few days, and Grandma was just tickled to death. This is in Flushing, Michigan, July 19th, 1991, and it's about 90 degrees out today, very hot. And there's Grandma Dumpty, age 75. She's still outside. This is her living room area. Sarah's sitting over there watching TV. Kitchen. Grandma picked some green beans today. We're going to take them home today and eat them. I'm over here at Grandpa Pluta's house. Uncle Lou's with me. When did your father...
My dad bought this place, 40 acres, in 1926, and he moved here in 27. And I was born here in 1928. And we tore the old farmhouse down in 1935 and lived in a granary out in back all summer while they were building the house. This one was built in 35, and we had two other barns out in back we tore down. A lot of outbuildings, raised cows and horses and no sheep, and just general farm of any kind, and mostly got cream and sold the cream, sold the hogs, and that's about all I can say. I moved away from here in '53. Come back every summer.
This is your great-grandma and grandpa's place here over in Flushing, Michigan. They both are immigrants from Poland, and Lou's trying to find out when Grandpa came and when Grandma came over into the United States. As all immigrants, they came into New York, and then they made their way here to Michigan. Lou's going to take me out back, but we're going to walk around and see some stuff.
Well, no, I don't know.
There's Uncle Lou.
Pa came over to this country in 1906. He was 19 years old, and Ma came over here, and she was 18, and that must have been about 1912 or something like that, 1911.
Mm-hmm.
She came to Baltimore and ended up in Chicago. My dad came to Ellis Island, and then he went to his brother lived in New Jersey, so he went to stay with his brother. He worked around there, and then he went to Pittsburgh and worked, and he went back to New Jersey, and then he heard that a friend of his in the same town, that there was work here at Buick before there was a General Motors, so he worked for Buick starting about 1909, and he worked there till the middle of the war, 1943-44, and when he quit. and he stayed on the farm after that.
We're out here back at Grandpa Pluta's barn here. And Uncle Lou went up north to, where'd you go, Anaway to get this?
Rogers City.
Rogers City. Lou.
That's a grain binder that was used from about 1900 to about 1950. They still use them on the old Amish farms, cutting grain. And this is what it, you got a blade across the front here, and it cuts the grain. And the grain falls down on that canvas, and that rolls up between rollers, and it ties into bundles just like this, and the bundles fall out the back like that, and or you can use it. This is a carriage here. If you can, this is a carriage over here. If you can turn. It would catch the bundles when they fell off the back, and then the driver had a foot pedal, and when he got it full, about 6 or 8 bundles, he'd triple lever, and they'd all fall in one place. Then you'd have to go along and shock them up and let them dry out good before you put them on a wagon and take to the thrashing machine. It's not quite ready for the show yet, but I gotta do a little bit more painting. It's got big paddle wheels here I haven't got put on yet.
It's looking nice.
It's a John Deere made in the 1930s. The way you pulled it, if you're going down the road, that's the way you pulled it. But when you're working in the field, you took these little wheels off, and you took the tongue off, and you swung the tongue here, and you pulled it this way. It was made for 2 horses to pull, or you can put a tractor hitch on it and pull it with the tractor. You have to look in the old-timey history books to see that. I'm going to take it up to Rogers City Parade, if I can get up there.
There's old Grandpa Pluta's old barn.
We got 4 tractors in there. My dad's old 1938 is in there. It's all restored except for the wheels. We're trying to get the wheels all cleaned up and have that in the show.
That's real interesting. There's a new barn they put up here a few years ago. Your Uncle Ed from Detroit and Lou and them built that barn to do their tractor work in, all the antique tractors they're getting into. Your Aunt Sophie lives in this house here. She's your Grandma Domke's sister. She's a Pluta. By the way, I don't know if you remember that, but your great-grandfather's name was Jacob Pluta, and your grandmother's name was Mary. It is July 20th, 1991. This is out at Flushing Park, Michigan.